I wanted to talk about emotions, but I've been having a hard time, so I'm not sure what I want to say. It's a wide topic. So I decided not to write anything down at all and to just talk, and then I'll edit it and see what happens. So I'm just gonna start from the beginning. All right, so everything is made of energy, right? Everything. Everything's made of atoms, and atoms are made of energy. Everything in this world vibrates, right? There are two types of energy, basically. There's positive energy that you feel, and there's negative energy that you feel, and that's really it, right? Um, Positive energy, the core of positive energy is love. If you like something, or if you're excited about something, if you're happy about something, that's love that you're feeling. And the root of all negative energy is fear. You know, some might say it's pride, but pride stems from fear. So it's fear. If you ever feel a negative emotion, you can figure out what you're afraid of, um, and then hopefully conquer that fear with love, and then move on. You don't have to be afraid of that anymore. You don't have to feel that negative, that intense negative feeling when you feel when you receive negative energy. Anyway, um, no, I'll keep talking about it. Feeling sad is not that does not necessarily mean you have to feel negative, right? You can feel sad positively, and just be okay with the fact that you feel your emotions. You feel everything for a reason. All you are, we'll call it your soul, right? What your soul is. Um, your soul is just emotions, the ability to feel emotions, and the ability to reason. Like, that's all a human being really is. That's what makes human beings special, is the ability to feel emotions and the ability to reason. Those are kind of one thing, right? That's all you really are, right? Outside of that, you are a physical body, you know, with senses: sight, sound, taste, touch, smell. I always forget smell. So your physical body with senses, and that physical body and your senses allow your soul, your emotions, and your reasoning, to be able to communicate with the outside world, everything else, and all of that stuff is made up of energy as well, right? Yeah, your ability to reason and your emotions make up, you, and then your physical body and your senses allow you to interact with everything else, right? Now, knowing that that's how it works, soul, physical body, outside world, right? Usually, right, you're walking around your emotions and your reasoning. You're walking around in your body with your senses, and those perceive something that happens outside. Something happens in the world, and you see it, and so it immediately first makes you feel something, right? That's the first response, is you feel something. So they feel an emotion because something happened, and then they respond based on that emotion. And they use their reasoning skills only to communicate their response, right? Um, this is what, when people say don't be led by your emotions, that's kind of what people are talking about. Is if something happens to you and you feel something, and then you know you talk about it, but you're only thinking about what to say based on your emotion exclusively that you just felt, right? That's being led by your emotions, which is not the way you want to do it, but it's on the right track. You're meant to live emotions first. A lot of people will say think before you act. Think before you say things, and it's deceiving, because when you're in the moment and you feel an emotion, that makes it sound like you're supposed to stop feeling the emotion and then think and then say something in that short amount of time. Nobody really takes the time to think like that, and that's kind of okay. It's kind of okay, you know. Even if you think before you speak, you still feel before you think, right? You have to think about what you feel. And you're not going to be, when you're feeling, you're not going to be able to reason clearly, right? Emotions are going to cloud your judgment. Negative energy and positive energy, in extreme amounts, both are going to cloud your judgment. If you're super happy about something, you are going to want to think about it when you're not super happy. If you're super sad and depressed about something, you're going to need to think about it when you're not super sad and depressed or not super angry. Like, you can't solve problems when you're not. You can't solve problems with your heart racing. You can't. It's inconsistent, and the blood in your body works weird and scientifically, you cannot make decisions based on emotions, right? So when you feel emotions, feel them. It's important that you feel emotions. Don't throw out your emotions in exchange for reasoning. It's important that you use them both. I think people just never really explain how to use them, right? So what should be happening, the best way to gain control over your emotions, gain control over your mind, yourself, is to pay attention, right? Don't try to stop yourself from feeling things. Simply pay attention. You know, go by go about your regular day as you normally would. Don't respond any differently to things than you normally would. Just pay attention to how you're responding, why you're responding, what you like, what you don't like, what did you enjoy about the day. Just keep an eye out and focus on like what you're doing, right? Because if you've been living led by your emotions, that's a good start. You have emotions and you're living by them. That's a good indicator of the type of person that you are. So just live like that normally and pay attention, right? And as you pay attention at the end of your days, or after a situation happens, when you're in a state of calmness, you're about to relax, you're about to go to bed or whatever, think about, all right, what happened today? What did I like? What did I not like? Why did I not like it? Why did I like it? And you're learning essentially by doing that. You're applying your reasoning skills in order to learn. Okay, what stimuli from the outside world trigger my emotions? What actions do I take that trigger my emotions? You know, Anger, happiness, sadness, embarrassment, fear, anxiety, whatever, depression, anxiety, whatever it may be. What triggers that for me, positive and negative. You know, is it something that someone else does? Is it something that I do? And then it's important also that during this time you're focusing um, on yourself, right? So if it's something that someone else does to trigger you, right, you're not going to think about, well, if they just stopped, then I wouldn't have to feel that. It's like, well, you can't control everything. You can't control the outside world. The only thing that your emotions and your reasoning can control is your body. You know, um, so you can control your body and you can control your emotions using reasoning. They're tethered, right? So, say like somebody yells at you, right? And you're like, oh, that made me mad. Why did that make me mad? It's like, I don't like being yelled at. All right. Well, you can think about now, all right, what type of person do I want to be? How do I want to respond in that situation? And it doesn't matter like what the person said or the situation so much, honestly. Yeah, I'm sure you can solve your own situational problems. Um, that's not what's important here. Um, a lot of people try to solve problems on a situation by situation basis, and that really hurts them in the long run. You know, um, the goal really should be to be able to encounter any situation and keep your composure, right? So that you can use your ability to reason without discounting your emotions. Um, that's your goal, right? So you want to pick the emotions that you want to feel when situations happen, right? So if somebody yells at you for something that you didn't do, how do you want to respond to that emotion? How do you want to respond when you feel that emotion? What emotion do you want to have during that? Genuinely, if you want to be the type of person who like goes off and yells back and has good comebacks, and you can become that person if that's the type of person that you really think you want to be. If you want to be the type of person who sits calmly while being yelled at and it doesn't bother them when they go home, then you can be that person too. You know, you just need to learn the things about your emotions and what triggers them to achieve that state, um, which all that requires you yourself all the time. You know, so all that requires is paying attention to yourself and how you feel, um, and following your heart. You know, um, a lot of people, a lot of people's deepest fear, you know, and I think it's kind of just like a human, embedded fear of not being good. Everyone has like this innate desire to be seen as good, you know, and people will often do whatever it takes, you know, to make sure they are seen as good. No one wants to be seen as a bad person. Um, so know that that you have that and that everyone has that, and it's important that you know that you're trying to be good, right, when you do things. Because if you're not convinced that you're good when you're doing things, then you get depressed and you get anxious and you're not yourself and you try to be something that you're not. You know, when what you really should be doing is just improving upon who you already are. You know, not trying to be something different than you are. You you know, all right. I think you get what I'm saying. Let's go back. Something happens in the world. You see it, hear it, feel it, whatever. You get an emotion, right? And then you use your reasoning to use language to talk, you know, based on what you're feeling. What you should be doing is it should go, world, you feel an emotion. You remember from when you thought when you were calm. All right, well, I mean, I wanted to respond like this, and odds are they're probably feeling like this. You know, when I get angry, that's how I feel, so I understand. And I just, you know, or I just don't want to be the type of person to get mad at this. So I'm just not gonna be mad at it, you know. And I'm gonna do my best to learn what I need to learn to not be mad at it, you know, and ask, like, hey, look, what you're saying is making me really mad, and I don't want to be mad at you. I don't. I don't feel like being, you know, so either I can't talk to you right now, I need to talk to you later, or I need you to stop yelling and explain what you need to explain calmly, you know, because I can't hear you if I'm mad, you know, like do what you got to do, you know, to be the person that you want to be. And it's okay to be open about that. You don't have to feel bad about being yourself, you know, and trying to be a better version of yourself, you know, and trying to stay in a calm state, in a happy state, you know, and do the things that you want to do and learn the things that you want to learn. There's no, you know, you improving yourself isn't really an inconvenience on others, especially in that situation, you know, and all you can do is throw that response out there. If they keep yelling at you, then you know it is what it is, and you just got to deal with the situation and go back and try to figure out what else you can do. But sometimes that's all you can do is your best, you know, and see the results. That's all you are, is you. So you do your best, you figure out what you want, and then you perform that way. Don't be ashamed to, you know, use everything that you've learned. You know, you've been learning this whole time, so just use everything that you've learned to be who you think is the best type of person. Like, be you, what you like and what you want to do, you know. You know yourself, you're good at it.